Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this edition of the Primetime Newscast in the English language on Canal International. We'll begin with our top stories. Four years after government declared the death of journalist, the silence of government disclosing his family deserves to know more or to know the truth. Touristic express travels across the country. The agency has been suspended by a transport ministerial order following De La Falle's August 8 accident that killed 9 and 2023-2024 academic year. Parents are already looking for schools for their children in the economic capital. Most of these parents have already defined the criteria for selection of schools best for their children. Those are major stories. Details right ahead. Good evening once more. 4 years after government declared the death of journalist Samuel Wazizi, nothing has filtered from the independent commission put in place by government. His lawyers continue to question the silence of government disclosing his family deserves to know the truth. They deserve to know more. The journalist was arrested in 2019 and transferred to military custody. Let's get more in the following story. August 17 marks exactly 4 years since journalist Samuel Wazizi was declared dead by the Cameroonian government. 4 years after, nothing seems to have advanced in the investigations called called that killed at least 9 persons and several others severely injured. But is the suspension the right thing to do? At this point in time, our reporter, Heisenja, has been questioning some experts on the issue.
Activities all grounded here at the touristic traveling agency in Yaoundé as the interurban bus service begins observing the 15-day suspension slammed by the Minister of Transport, Jean-Ernest Ngale Bibe, as penalty for their ghastly road accident on August 8 that claimed the lives of 9 persons in La Falaise, Ngaoundéré. Passengers rushing in here to pay for their traveling tickets as usual, but forced to make a U-turn to seek other alternatives that can take them to their various destinations. But are suspensions after accidents an effective solution to stop the life-ravaging phenomenon?
We can agree that the administrative solution has been taken, but we need to go forward in order to see whether the driver was in a good state, the car was in a good state, and we know that that road national number 1 is not in good state.
In few days before going back to school, you see that northern Cameroon people that are in southern Cameroon, they want to return back to school. It shall be a social problem. That is why we say the minister suspension are not the solution.
The transport syndicate leaders and observers urge the powers that be to tackle the problem from the base.
The problem is formation at the base. He brought a good solution to put cameras, but transporters say these cameras are there, but discussion are going through with these transporters that you will see how it will go down the prices of this application, because this application have made its proof.
The solution is first of all to have a good training for the drivers. Make sure that we have a data transport in Cameroon. Have all those informations on the type of cars, sections, the states of the car itself, in order to...
And just like Touristique, a driver of Avenue de la KDI who grossly violated traffic rules, which led to the death of 7 persons with 27 others seriously injured in Dumé, has been prohibited from any transport activities with his license confiscated.
Detect polio cases, so quick action is taken by governments. Despite her status of a polio-free country, Cameroon run the risk of importing the 3 types circulating in neighboring countries. More with our reporter, Beatrice Ngam.
For action, the collectors armed from head to toe, total protection for business of the day. They get into the water, which is not only dirty but with other. The resource for the sample, which is collected twice to fill a liter.
Collectors, they prepare the material for the collection. They also prepare the cold chain for the sample after collection. The sample has to be kept in good condition. Now the supervisor and control.
And carefully sealed. The information of the sample is filled with the name of the site and date of swab deposited to a center.
The sample will go straight to Centre Pasteur de Cameroon, who is the referral laboratory for the surveillance of polio.
Here, the technicians of the virology service, receptory laboratory for surveillance against polio, move to the analysis.
After doing this analysis, now we can determine if there will be a campaign or not. And when there is something, I think the minister will communicate about it. So
this is the picture of the environmental surveillance process by the expanded vaccination program, a method on course for some 3 years now in the fight against poliomyelitis, and which has yielded fruit. Cameroon today is a polio-free country. Caution still imperative, especially with some 3 cases detected in neighboring countries.
And a task force to accelerate effective management of agricultural structures to be handed to local communities are met in the nation's political capital, Yaoundé, important for the Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development and the United Council and Cities of Cameroon, to ensure stable agricultural production in order to boost security and sole crop importation. More with our reporter, Beatrice Ngamu.
Decentralization and transfer of competence and resources in the agriculture sector is slowly and gradually taking shape. With the task force between the Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development and the United Council and Cities of Cameroon in place, the experts are working on accelerating the process after a good mastery of the resources. This year, for example, the Ministry of Agriculture intends to transfer to the municipalities structures such as
the Agri-Post, the SEAC, and even the Phytosanitary Brigade. We need to sit together and to find the best way to implement this decision.
Cameroon is endowed with abundant natural wealth, but in order to ensure food security, the implication of local population is imperative.
Food production is done actually in the local territories, which is galvanized by the mayors and their respective population. Increase our production so that we can have sufficiency, food sufficiency, and of course also excesses.
The local authorities to sail through needs the finances to enact the enabling infrastructures.
That is, bridges and of course road maintenance. If you don't maintain the roads, you will not be able to carry your products that you produce in the farms, to the cities.
The journey this far saluted with the wish of its full implementation so that agricultural decentralization will see self-sufficiency, abundance, and good health.
The end of holidays and few weeks to the new academic year. Some youths of the hinterlands are already assisting their parents in preparing for the back to school, while others are involved in entertainment activities in villages. More with our reporter Ines Ondwambala.
Barely few months to the start of the school year, youth in rural areas in the southwest region continue to serve holidays activities. Here in Ekondo Titi, they all came from nooks and crannies of villages to spend time with family members. Some schoolgoers are involved in hawking as petit treat around neighborhood is part of their daily activities. While some sell groundnut, plums, and maize, others are helping their parents to sell snails, commonly called Congo meat, to help their parents prepare for back to school. Boys preferred playing football as interquarters and other football tournaments are being organized here and there. Drinking sports are equally jammed to capacity. Youths are spending a fun-filled time during these holidays in nooks and crannies of the southwest region. That's how it goes in rural areas of the southwest region.
And as you heard in that report, we are just barely 3 weeks to the start of the new school year, and parents are already looking for schools for their children. In the economic capital, Douala, most of the parents have already defined the criteria of selection of schools best for their children. Our reporter, Saleh Sharifa, has been talking with some parents on the streets of Douala. Her story.
Less than 3 weeks to the start of 2023-2024 academic year, parents in the economic city of Cameroon, Douala, rely on the reputation of a school before enrolling their children. According to them, appropriate follow-up and the environment are vital factors for the intellectual development of their children. We notice that at home, sometimes children have behaviors that are not appropriate. It is part of their teaching framework. We are in a time where it is very bad and the children are a little neglected, and it's necessary that the teachers really help us in that aspect. Elsewhere, many have preferred the security of their children by sending them to schools closer to their homes. The school environment is already good and the child is used to his company, knowing that lately schools are being seen everywhere, so it is good to keep the child in one school and he completes one cycle before moving to the next stage. For others, they see no need in changing schools. They will rather maintain the previous school based on the results. Last year's results were wonderful, so I don't think I'll change their school. Generally, I prefer schools closer to the house for their safety. After being certain of the choice of schools, the next move for these parents is enroll the children.
And still on our back to school page this time around, we focus on dealers in other business line that are adding other shelf or table inside or outside store for school items. The phenomenon they say is to stay within the business of the season while maintaining the original business line. More with our reporter Beatrice Angamo and student journalist Manu Manga.
From the commercialization of electronics, cosmetics, groceries, many shops and stores have added another line of business. School items due to the ongoing preparation ahead of the 2023-2024 academic year. Some have segmented their shops into compartments, while others have decided to place additional stands, tables in front of their stores. Inside dedicated to the main business, outside for the commercialization of exercise books, school bags, uniform, water bottles, snack box, rollers, pens, pencils, and many others.
We have decided to park outside for more visibility and attract customers.
The reason for the expansion not far-fetched, simply to grab some revenues, as all these few days to the school resumption will be about school preparation. Any good business person must swing with the changes that is profitable, make big returns within a short period of time as compared to their main activity. The sweet seasonal business will be over by the end of October for some as they return to their main line of activities, while others will continue to switch, this time to the Christmas tune.
Unlimited access to bank loans due to the high cost of transactions and absence of information among the many challenges facing small and medium-sized enterprises in Cameroon. The state leading institution portfolio guarantee agreement between finance ministry and some banking and microfinance institutions in Yaoundé is for credit markets in favor of public and private enterprises, though guarantee facilities more. With our reporter Beatrice Angamo.
Global shocks and crises have greatly affected Cameroon's economic growth. The access to bank credit for enterprises, especially small and medium-sized enterprises, difficult due to lack of guarantee. As a way to boost economic growth and sustain SMEs, here is government's package
given to them so as to allow them, so as to enable them to grant the credits. That means that when you have a file, you seek for a credit, don't come and see the Minister of Finance. No, go to your bank. The bank will examine the file and the bank will see if your project is a good one. If the project is a good one, but that you lack a guarantee, the bank will come and see the Minister of Finance.
The guarantee in question is a sum of 200 billion CFA francs, 140 billion for private enterprises and 60 for public enterprises. While presenting the nature and form of the mechanism, Finance Minister then encouraged the enterprises seeking aid to take into consideration import substitution in their projects so as to increase their chances.
It permits us boost our assistance in financial terms to enterprises.
This mechanism will help institutions to give more loans to make our economic goals away.
It should be noted that this mechanism to aid enterprises is in line with the 2023 finance year. If promising, the project will be stretched to upcoming years.
Report by Beatrice Angamo brings us to the end of this edition of the Primetime Newscast in the English language on Canal International. Thanks so much for watching. But coming up next is a debrief with Lil Peugeot. So we'll be back same time tomorrow. Good night.